Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to see you here. All these smiling faces. I see a lot of red. This morning we have a very special Super Saturday story time. We have a special guest, former sports anchor and wife of Razorback basketball coach Eric Musselman. Mrs. Danyelle Sargent Musselman is here. Please give her a warm round of applause.
Thank all of you guys for being here today, and I'm so excited to be here to be able to read stories. I have 3 kids, and they're much bigger than you guys, and so they don't let me read stories to them anymore. So I'm glad to have this opportunity. And also, this is the month of February, and it's Black History Month. So we have 3 books that feature characters that are all Black, like me. And so I just think it's important that we hear and learn about people who are different than ourselves and look different and like to do different activities and all of those different things. So these 3 books are very important to me, and I'm gonna tell you why before I read each one. So this first one is called Bunheads, and it's written by Misty Copeland, who is a Black ballerina. And in the world of professional ballerinas, not many of them are Black, especially not the ones that are some of the best in the world, and Misty Copeland was one of those. And I didn't do any dance whenever I was a kid, but I have a daughter who's 12, and she loves dance, and she loves to do ballet, so that's why this book was very special to me. So it's called Bunheads. When Miss Bradley announced they'd be performing the ballet Coppelia for the recital, everyone in Misty's class shouted excitedly and gathered around to hear their teacher tell the story of Coppelia. Misty didn't know what Coppelia meant, and she was too shy to ask, especially since it was her first ballet class ever. So Misty took a spot on the floor, and before she knew it, she was completely entranced as Miss Bradley told the tale. Once upon a time, an odd old toy maker made a beautiful life-size doll named Coppelia to cure his lonely heart. The doll was so pretty and looked so real that a boy named Franz fell in love with Coppelia at first sight, even though he'd already told Swanilda he would marry her. Swanilda was furious when she caught Franz blowing kisses to Coppelia, but Franz ignored her anger. Later, Franz sneaked into the toy maker's house to see Coppelia, but the toy maker caught him. When the toy maker realized that Franz was in love with his doll, he had an awful idea. Maybe he could use Franz's love to turn Coppelia into a real girl. Lucky for Franz, Swanilda had also sneaked into the toy maker's house out of curiosity, and she was still hidden inside. She overheard the toy maker's evil plan and decided to dress like Coppelia to confuse the old man. Once the toy maker believed that his doll had finally come to life, Franz escaped. After that, Franz realized what a fool he'd been, and he married Swanilda. The two lived happily ever after. Misty loved how Swanilda never lost sight of her goal or her real love. She knew she wanted to be Swanilda. In just a few days, we will decide what roles you will dance in the performance, Miss Bradley said. Now, let's practice. First, there was the développé to tendu, front with one leg lifted forward, the pointed foot gently touching the floor. Next was the rangé. Now, this has all these ballet words, so I'm sorry if I'm saying them wrong. With the legs stretched straight out to the front, making big circles round and round in the air with the toys. I picture my daughter being very judgmental of me right now. Then it got a bit harder with the passe de bourrée, moving from side to side as one foot crossed over the other. They had such fun with the sans tenue as the young dancers twirled and spun in unison. Finally, the lesson ended with simultaneous passe again and again. Misty picked up the steps easily, following only a half second behind the rest of the class. Have you ever danced Coppelia? Miss Bradley asked. Misty shook her head, nervously replying, I've never taken ballet before. Well, you're very good, Miss Bradley said. Come, she called to Misty and Kat, a younger girl who was full of energy. You two up front. Misty could feel her heart pounding. Miss Bradley asked Kat to show Misty the dance of Coppelia. Coppelia sits in a chair on the balcony of the toymaker's house throughout the first act of the ballet. Kat held her arms in first position, then lifted her arms and turned her head like a robot, up and down and side to side. She performed the moves beautifully. When it was Misty's turn, she imitated Kat from memory. "You are both very gifted," Miss Bradley said. As soon as Misty got home, everything about the new class and the Coppelia fairy tale tumbled out of her. "I'm proud of you," Mommy said. Misty was so excited she could hardly sleep. She lay in bed thinking about the doll coming to life. Misty said her name aloud, Coppelia. It felt magical and full of mystery. The next day, Misty arrived early. Kat was there too, dancing the steps of Swanilda. Oh no, Misty didn't know if she could compete with someone so talented. Soon Miss Bradley arrived. "Do you girls know which part you want to play in the recital?" Misty held her breath as Kat answered, Coppelia. When the other dancers arrived, filling the studio with laughter, Misty and Kat stayed close, learning from each other. Kat's movements were sharp, while Misty's were soft. They tried to copy each other's style until they were giggling. At last, Miss Bradley was ready to audition the dancers to cast the parts that everyone would play in Coppelia. Nearly all hands shot toward the ceiling to audition for Coppelia. Misty was nervous for Kat, but when Kat began to move, Misty knew that no one would outdance her. When it was time to dance the role of Swanilda, Misty was paired with a grinning younger boy named Wolfie, who was portraying Franz. Wolfie was on a mission to catch Misty's attention. The next day, Miss Bradley announced who would play what parts. Misty was excited when Kat got the part of Coppelia, and even happier when she won the part of Swanilda. The next few weeks were full of hard work for Misty. She had to perform both Swanilda and Coppelia when she tricked the toy maker into thinking she was a doll who had come to life. It was a lot to learn. Watching Kat dance her parts with ease made Misty try even harder. They inspired each other. The night of the performance, Misty was so excited she couldn't keep still. Staring up at the heavy red curtain, Misty felt a hand on her back. "You okay?" Kat asked. Misty nodded. "I'm ready." And then the curtain was rising up and away. Bright spotlights spilled onto the stage, casting a spell of stillness that would only be broken by movement. In her tutu and braided bodice, Misty pranced onto the stage as Swanilda, with Wolfie playing the part of Franz. At last, lost in the dance, she felt the heat of the lights when she twirled and imagined she could see every face in the room, especially Mommy's. This is one of my favorite pictures. She's dancing and she looks so beautiful. Misty smiled, proud of what she, Kat, and Wolfie and the other dancers had accomplished together. She couldn't wait to see what they would do next. The end. I love that one. So this next one is called Hair Love, and it's my favorite because normally I don't wear my hair straight like this. My hair is very, very curly, and that's how I wear all of the time. And whenever I was younger, I didn't like my hair curly. I used to just straighten it all the time, and it took me a long time before I was able to embrace my curly hair, and now I love it so much because it makes me different. And I think that being different is good and being different is beautiful. So I just think that everyone should embrace their differences. So Hair Love, this is by Matthew A. Cherry. My name is Zuri, and I have hair that has a mind of its own. It kinks, coils, and curls every which way. See, here's Zuri right here, and this is what my hair looks like normally. Daddy tells me it's beautiful. That makes me proud. I love that my hair lets me be me. In funky braids with beads, I am a princess. Look at all that hair. And when my hair is in two puffs, I am above the clouds like a superhero. My hair even does magic tricks. One day, Rocky and I were playing outside when along came the rain. From large to small it went, presto, just like that. There is nothing my hair can't do. Today, I woke up extra early all by myself. I was too excited to sleep. It's a big day. Daddy was still sleeping. Shh, I said to Rocky as we tiptoed past him. Lately, Daddy has been worn out. He makes me breakfast, takes me to school, goes to work, picks me up, and yesterday we went for a bike ride around the park. I think he needs a break. Because today is special, I want the perfect hairstyle. This calls for a professional's touch. Paws off, Rocky. Rocky is her cat. Daddy heard the crash. Zuri, what on earth? He asked. I was only trying to help, I said. Daddy smiled. Can I help too? It'd be a piece of cake, Zuzu. The first style was a big no way. She didn't like how her dad styled her hair the first time. The second was no better. No, Daddy. She still didn't like how her dad styled it. Then Daddy tried slicking my hair back into 2 puffs. Ouch, Daddy yelled. Wait a minute, Daddy said as he reached into the drawer and pulled out a pick. Daddy, really? I said. I'll be right back, he promised. He made her hair huge. Now, how's that? He asked, pulling a hat down over my eyes. Daddy, come on, we can do better than that. I really need my hair to be extra special. Don't worry, he said, we'll figure this out. Then I had a great idea. Daddy gathered all the tools we needed and we were set. Watching carefully, Daddy combed, parted, oiled, and twisted. He nailed it. Funky puff buns. Pretty, and so much fun. Rocky approved too. I put on my superhero cape as the final touch to a perfect look. Where's my Zuzu? Mommy called from the door. She could not get into the house fast enough. Mommy, you've got to be the prettiest Supergirl I've ever seen, she said. And your hair is beautiful, Zuri. Who did it? I looked at Daddy and beamed. Mommy smiled. Very nice. Thank you. We learned from the best, Daddy said, and he gave her a big hug. My hair is Mommy, Daddy, and me. It's hair love. The end. So this book, it's about basketball, and I thought that that would be a perfect book to finish on for my family because my husband is a basketball coach, and he played college basketball, and I played basketball, and my 2 stepsons played basketball too. And it's also, I love it says down here, never too small to dream big. And I think that's one of the most important lessons that all of you guys should take home, to dream big, and you can accomplish whatever you want to do. And so this is by Chris Paul, who is a very famous basketball player. Michael Jordan is stalled in double coverage. He looks for an outlet. Jordan sees Chris Paul streaking down the sideline. Paul is only 8 years old, but he's lightning fast. Jordan makes the quick pass. Paul drives left, pulls back for the jumper. He lets it go and scores. The crowd goes wild. In your dreams, Chris. My brother CJ and his friends were just getting back from the playground. They loved to tease me about my game. You're too small to play basketball, said one friend, and tiny, said another. Did we mention small, added a third. They all laughed. CJ stayed behind as his friends left. They're right, you know, Chris. The ball is bigger than you are. I threw back my shoulders and straightened up. Maybe, I said, but I've got good hands. Come on, help me practice. Tryouts are only a week away. Hey, called our mother from the doorway. What you boys need to practice is sitting right on the table and eating your vegetables. Basketball will still be there after supper. At school the next day, I didn't pay much attention. All I could think about were tryouts. When my teacher talked about math, I remembered that the average height of a player in the NBA was 6 feet 7 inches tall. I was only 4 feet and 1 inch tall, and I wasn't going to get much taller in the next few days. That night, I was lying in bed when Mom came in. What are you thinking about, Chris? Coach is only going to take 15 players. What if he thinks I'm too small? Mom smiled. You're a great basketball player, Chris, but basketball isn't the only thing that matters. Your family matters. Your education does too, and worrying about your height won't make you any better. Just do the best you can with the gifts that you have. Then she gave me a kiss goodnight, and I fell asleep dreaming of basketball moons shooting across the night sky. But I was still feeling scared on Saturday when I helped out my grandfather, Papa Chili, at his service station. "You look a little deflated yourself," said Papa Chili as I filled a flat tire. "What's up?" "Everyone says I'm too small to make the basketball team," I said. "Nothing wrong with being nervous," said Papa Chili. "Look, Chris, you can't make yourself taller, but you can get faster and stronger." He winked at me. "Work harder than everyone else on the court, and your size won't matter." Over the next few days, I spent hours and hours practicing. I shot layups and foul shots. I dribbled first with one hand and then with the other. I ran sprints to build up my wind. One day, my brother came out to the driveway where I was resting. "Hey, Squirt," said CJ, "I've been watching you." "Really? I didn't know CJ ever watched me." "Yeah, well, don't tell anyone," said CJ. "But listen, when you drive to the basket, don't look at the ball. Your hand should know where the ball is without looking." I nodded. "And when somebody tries to fake you out, don't watch their arms or their head. Keep your eye on their hips. Nobody goes anywhere without their hips." The night before tryouts, I could hardly eat. "Try to relax, Chris," said Dad. "You're a good player." "He isn't worried about being good," said CJ. "He's worried about being short." "It's true," I said. "What if the coach makes up his mind about me before I even play?" My father shook his head. "A good coach will want to see what you're made of. And remember," Mom added, "you're not alone in this. The whole family is behind you." There were tons of kids at the tryouts, and all of them were taller than I was. My heart was pounding. I wondered if anyone could see it thumping out of my chest. Everyone looked excited, but a lot of us would be going home disappointed. I knelt down and retied my sneakers. Then I took a few deep breaths. The coach split us into several teams. When my team took the court, I got the inbounds pass. I dribbled up court. The opposing guard watched the ball closely, too closely. I faked a pass and then went up for an open shot. Swish! "Good move, Chris," yelled Dad. I got the ball back after the next basket, and the defense boxed me in. I forced a shot, but it was swatted away, and I was knocked to the ground. "Careful, don't step on him," somebody shouted from the sidelines. I was done. I could feel it. I didn't dare look at the coach, but I heard Papa Chili cheering from the stands. He didn't think I was done. He thought I was just getting started. I picked myself up and got back on defense. The other team's biggest player had the ball. I watched his hips just like CJ had told me to. When he tried to fake right, I wasn't fooled. I darted in and stole the ball. I heaved a chest pass to my teammate under the basket, and right at the buzzer, he scored. Afterward, we were all waiting for the big decision. The coach sat by himself for a few minutes looking at his notes, then he stood up and came forward. "You all looked great today," he said. "Everyone should be proud of that." I held my breath. "So here's our team for the coming season." The coach named 3 centers, then 6 forwards. That left 6 more spaces for guards. I wasn't the first player named or the second. 3 names more went by, but there was only one left. What if it wasn't me? And Chris Paul, the coach finished up. I had done it. I had made the team. My parents and Papa Chili gave me a hug. Even CJ was impressed. "Not bad for a squirt," he said. "Nope," I said to myself. "Not bad at all." The end. I like that one too. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today. It was fun getting the chance to read to you all. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.